Hi, I'm Mia, and this is MiasGhia, where the focus of our channel is to encourage you to live the life that you want and deserve. One of the things I feel like we all deserve is a beautiful space that we call home. And regardless of budget, I believe that we all deserve that. And so this channel was basically formed for that reason. My husband and I moved to Colorado right before the shutdown, stayed with in-laws, found a space of our own. Shutdown happens. So we had no furniture. We had planned on buying everything when we got there. So only thing we took was our art, our clothing, each other, and our dog. And so that was it. And so my in-laws were like, we will sell you the bed you've been sleeping on. We were like, okay, good, we have a bed. And so anyway, I was like, okay, now how am I gonna furnish this house? And then I remembered OfferUp. I was like, oh, I remember I used to buy stuff on OfferUp occasionally because I've always loved like curating a space. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to turn to OfferUp, Craigslist. Those are the two that I knew. And then eventually I found out about Facebook Marketplace. And so I I reached out to this lady. She had a sofa. I believe it was listed for $225, $250, something like that. I sent her an offer of $125. And I was like, we have no furniture. We just moved here. And she was like, okay. She was a stager, so the sofa was brand new. And so my brother-in-law took me that day and we went and got it. I think the next thing I got was these beautiful mid-century modern chairs. I love mid-century, it's my favorite time period. But there was a company called Costco, C-O-S-C-O, not the big brand warehouse store. This is a mid-century place. And there was a lady that sold me 5 chairs. It was either $80 or $85. And I was like, oh my gosh, I loved those chairs. There was a beautiful piece of sculpture that I picked up. Pretty much looks black, but it's really dark navy and it has like little veins running through it. To me, it looks like Madonna and Child, this Virgin Mary holding a baby, but it's beautiful. I paid $20 whole for it, and it's more than half of my, height, and it's extremely heavy. So a beautiful sculpture. And so I started finding all these things for $5, $10. And so when the stores open back up, I'm like, now I'm hooked. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go. And then I realized that we were moving right across the street from ARC thrift store, which is definitely my favorite place to shop because on Saturdays they always had half price days. And I was like, oh my God, I called my sister-in-law. I was like, I'm in trouble. So anyway, I decided I wanted to do the patio. My husband loves it when I do a patio for him because he loves to sit outside. And so I was going to do this patio space for him, but also I was about to have a surgical procedure and needed a place to kind of rest after the surgery while I was recuperating. And so I did the Thrifted DIY patio on a budget. That was the first series. If you haven't seen it, it's going to be up here somewhere and in the description box. Make sure you watch that after you watch this video. But anyway, I started working on the patio and I ended up with the boxwood panels for the wall were $100, and I was able to give some to a family member to help with their space as well. So that's how much boxwood I actually ended up with. If we had purchased online, the amount of boxwood, I think I figured it out, it would have been like $1,200 or $1,300 just for the boxwood alone, because our patio was ginormous. And so yeah, I just added some little lights to it, and then this space started coming to life, and people would come over and they would be like, they would love the space. It felt very curated, like we had been collecting for a long period of time. And I just kind of explained the story about where most of the stuff came from and how we ended up having to shop because of the shutdown. And then they would walk out on the patio, and there were no overhead lights. It was just the glow of the boxwood wall from behind, and all these little, trickles of light, and they could hear the waterfall and the wind chimes, and you could smell the lavender and it was just beautiful. It smelled good and looked good. And my sister-in-law called it the spot because we would have parties out there all the time, and people would show up, and it was just, you know, we had a lounger out there. There would be 2 or 3 people laying on the lounger, you know, some with a blanket. And then, you know, there was the sofa set that I got for $36. That was I believe that was the first thing I purchased. Maybe the boxwood was the first thing I purchased. And then I ended up finding that $36 patio set that I ended up flipping, and the TV set that became the bar. And so, yeah, so that was the beginning of the idea. I'm like, okay, there is something here. So I know that we're not the only ones in this position. And, you know, once life kind of kicked back in and the things were lifted, I started realizing there are people who live on the fringes that need this content, that need to figure out or learn how to do a beautiful space without it costing an arm and a leg, because they don't have an arm and a leg to give. And so anyway, i.e. the birth of the channel. And so it is about being in the now, about living life to the fullest, even in the now, when you have very few dollars. Someone said to me recently, I will let you decorate my space when I get my dream home. And they know who they are. I love them very much. But I said, why are you waiting until you get your dream home? Don't you deserve to have a beautiful space now? And they were like, oh yeah, I do. And so that's what it's about. It's about us, you know, living in the now, creating the beauty now, the things that we desire now. And so anyway, my husband and I moved back to Texas and into my childhood home, which looks a hot mess, to be quite honest. And so we're in the process of turning this house into a home. And so definitely would love for you guys to come on that journey with us. And you will see videos of us doing the cleanup, and it was a mess, but doing the cleanup and just doing things in order to make it livable. This space right here is the space that God has given us permission to do. And so it's going to be my first DIY. It's going to be thrifted and definitely on a budget. And I'm going to challenge someone on YouTube to do a $500 makeover challenge with this office space. There's a donation button. You can click on that donation button and slide a few dollars to a sister so she can win this challenge. So anyway, I want to make sure that this channel feels like it belongs to us. And so putting comments about videos that you want to see made or issues that you've come across, and you know, yeah, supporting the channel that way. 99% of the time when I'm doing a makeover, I actually flip furniture. I will take a piece of furniture and upcycle it some kind of way. And so I actually have started selling furniture. You can support the channel that way. A lot of it is thrifted, some of it is found, but all of it ends up being beautiful once we've renovated it. So that's it. That's the focus of the channel. We'll definitely do decorating and design, furniture flips, my space, other people's spaces, and sometimes I will just come on and just drop some words of wisdom or knowledge or whatever. So I'm Mia, and this is MiasGhia.